Skattebo and Tyrone Tracy listed as co-starters. De'Von Achane preparing for huge loads this season, and the Giants begging Dart to slide to save his career. Welcome to week 3 of training camp, boys. We are going to cover the biggest news items that have fantasy implications. Then we're going to talk about some of my favorite players making big time plays, separating from the pack. Let's get into this video. We have a lot to cover. Brian Thomas Jr. to play the X role in the Jaguars offense. It's not really the role that you want in a Liam Cohen offense. We really want that slot role. That's just the type of role that is usually very productive. I think that might mean lower targets and lower production for Brian Thomas, but maybe some big plays, man. Maybe there's some big plays to go around. Everybody hyping up Jonathon Brooks all offseason. We can have a beer now. Chuba Hubbard is out week to week. Kind of unfortunate for Chuba. It gives Jonathon Brooks an opportunity to take this backfield, or at least take a bigger share of it. I do think when Chuba comes back, he's just going to be right back into like the 1A role. I would be a little bit worried, man, because Jonathon Brooks, supposedly he's got some gas. Makai Lemon in week 3 of training camp, still slowed by a hamstring injury. I've yet to see a single highlight from this man. I'm not really sure how we can draft him, to be honest, dude. Like, I need to see something. This is an offense that doesn't pass the ball very much. They want to run the ball. They were always last in the league in pass rate over expectations. So if that doesn't change, I just don't think he's somebody that I'm really going to get excited about. So Justin Jefferson building some rapport with Kyler Murray, who just won the starting job, but that news report will be here a little bit later. The Jets are looking for a sizable jump from A.D. Mitchell. Now, he's like the wide receiver 2 on this team. They have some faith in him. They feel like they got a steal from the Colts in that trade for Sauce Gardner. They feel like A.D. Mitchell is a very underrated wide receiver. He is one of the better separators in the NFL. He's got some speed. You know, he just makes the bonehead. If you're in any type of league where you get points for fumbles and, you know, boneheaded plays, Adonai Mitchell is probably the 101. Skattebo and Tracy listed as co-starters. It might not mean much, guys, but it does mean they have some type of role for Tracy. It could just be a spellback, could just be a hurry up, you know, 2-minute offense type thing. But nevertheless, that does kind of limit the ceiling that Skattebo has. I've been drafting this dude in like the dead zone, like the middle rounds, you know, round 4, round 5, kind of as like that last workhorse running back. And if Tracy kind of is just an annoyance there, you know, I'm a little bit concerned about that workhorse Skattebo draft pick. Sam LaPorta, dude, having a terrific camp. This is huge news because he's a part of an offensive system now that really wants to feature the tight ends, right? So Sam LaPorta, we know what he's capable of. He's one of the better tight ends in the last 3 seasons statistically. He has like some of the best production that any tight end has had in their first 3 seasons. So he's now in a system where he could be featured, and this is a really good offense, man. And they're looking for weapons, right? They just lose David Montgomery, Isaiah Pacheco, already injured. So I think Sam LaPorta is going to have a huge season, somebody that I really want to draft. Kyler Murray showed enough to be a starter. Look, it was a tall order for Kyler Murray to beat out JJ McCarthy, and he did not come up short, guys. He won the starting job from JJ McCarthy, one of the worst quarterbacks that I've seen in a long time. Another one, kind of big news for Travis ETN, HN, whatever the fuck his name is. Alvin Kamara and him are listed as co-starters. So we kind of already expected this. We kind of already saw the tea leaves here that they want to use Alvin Kamara as a receiving back, and pretty much strictly that. He just wasn't very good as an early down back. But this is just kind of solidifying that fact. Kevin O'Connell says that JJ McCarthy has a future with the Vikings. I did hear that they have a water boy position open. So JJ McCarthy, dude, you got the job. Another co-starter news item here. Bhayshul, Tuten, and Christian Rodriguez. Again, we kind of knew this was going to happen. They've been saying it all offseason, but now it's official. Tuten and Rodriguez are co-starters. Obviously, Tuten has much more upside, but this team really likes Chris Rodriguez, man. I have to temper my expectations on Tuten, to be honest. I think Chris Rodriguez is going to be the most annoying 1B or handcuff player in the NFL this season. I'm kind of worried about Bhayshul Tuten. De'Von Achane preparing for massive, huge workloads. The head coach recently said he might have to carry De'Von Achane off the field after these massive, big, gigantic loads get put on De'Von Achane. He's going to have to really carry those loads throughout the whole season for the Miami Dolphins. And then the last news item, the Giants reportedly begging Jackson Dart to slide at the end of scrambles. Everybody is begging him. I was begging him last season when I had him. He just always wants to get that extra yard. He always wants to like try to make an extra like broken tackle. Dude, you have a long career ahead of you. If you can just learn to slide, because you are a capable passer, man. This dude made some big time throws. One of the more underrated throwers of the football, to be honest, dude. He makes huge plays out of construct, right? Like on the broken plays, he can make like really nice throws, dude. So I think if this dude can just learn to slide, still be a runner, still use your legs, but just learn to slide, brother. Now, this is what the people came for, guys. I have 11 names, 11 players that are making a big-time splash in camp. I'm going to be talking about guys that have been making plays all camp in this one. So we start with Malik Nabers. Look, man, it don't matter if it's Daniel Jones with his long-ass neck, if it's fucking Drew Lock with his normal-sized neck. Nabers was cooking no matter who his quarterback was. This man is Ja'Marr Chase. Ja'Marr Chase elite levels of talent, guys. If you don't believe me, this is the last 7 games, including the postseason, full games. And these are the players that are at the top of the list in fantasy points per game. Malik Nabers #1 across the board in targets per game, yards per game, and fantasy points per game. Ahead of Amon-Ra, ahead of Chase, ahead of Njigba, dude. So this dude is elite, man. I know some people might not want to admit it, and he is coming off an injury, but the dude is an absolute beast. Let's have a look at a couple of highlights and what he looks like in camp, dude, because it's important, man. We need to see if the lingering knee issue is a problem. It looks like he's still got it, dude. He's still got the speed. Let's look at another one here. Dude, a lot of the fantasy doctors say it's all about how well he can slow down when he's sprinting, that is like a huge indicator if they heal well. You know, I tend to trust these dudes. They seem like they're real doctors. So he seems like he still can decelerate really well. That is good news. This was a tweet on August 13th. So this was yesterday. Everything points toward Malik Nabers being back for the start of the season. That is huge news, dude. In my book, he's dominating. He's dominating rehab, right? Like, we want to see this. We want to see a dude get on the field, look good, look fast, look agile at the beginning of training camp. That gives us the confidence to draft him. This is a first-round talent. First-round talent. So if we can take this man in the second round, third round, dude, if you can get him in the third round, tell your league mates that they should just send you the cash directly, Venmo, the buy-in. You don't need to even play the season out. Next up, we got Kenneth Walker, guys. This comes from the Seattle Seahawks to the Kansas City Chiefs. This team is desperate for a running back that is capable. I have him ranked as my RB11, 14th overall. So I have him like right at the beginning of the second round. I want to show you guys a couple things here. Kenneth Walker, workhorse running back. Team is also likely to lean into the run more season. This is a video of Kenneth Walker just snatching the fuck out of somebody's ankles. Let's just watch the video. Dude, the outside in, outside again. Where is the defender? Doesn't even matter, dude. He's got the speed. He's got the jitteriness. He's got the versatility. This is another really good cut, dude. Finds the gap. And watch this, dude. So he finds the gap, first of all. First of all, good vision. Second of all, when he gets to the second level, hits a nice little outside in move. This might even be the same video, just from a different angle. So finds the gap. I mean, it was massive as fuck. I would have found that gap. And then puts his foot in the ground, dude. Jittery. Yeah, I think that's the same play. This is another play, dude, just to show the grit. Gets pushed out of bounds after the play, clearly. Gets up in his face. I think he spikes the ball, or he throws the ball. Dude, spear tackles his own teammate, dude. You love to see it. Look, as a man who plays online video games, I consistently get muted, banned, suspended from the tribunal for talking shit, flaming my teammates, dude. That is the type of aura, that is the type of vibes that I want to see in an NFL player. Is he willing to spear tackle, bitch slap his own teammates? I want that man on my fantasy football team, guys. Look, man, you could say me and Kenneth Walker, dude, we have a little bit, we're kindred spirits over here. We got the same type of mentality. Shit on our teammates. Don't be a team player. Be hated by people around. I'm just kidding. Look at us, me and Kenneth Walker. Anyway, let's move on. I'm getting higher on this dude, man. I think he's a high upside RB1. If you take him at the beginning of the second round, if you took him in the first round, I would not blame you, dude. This is the Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes has an ACL injury, guys. He's still wearing a brace on his knee. All those scrambles that Mahomes used to do in the past where he's getting, first downs with his feet, those could be check downs to Kenneth Walker, right? So imagine, dude, the sky is the limit for this man. Projections have him for 60 targets. I think he can have more than that. I think it's possible. He's going to hit the rushing yards. He's going to be the workhorse here. I'm just getting higher on this man as the offseason goes on. I might be drafting this dude at the back end of the first round, honestly. Next up, we got McConkey, dude. What can I say about this man that hasn't been said before? He's an absolute cerebral player. He's a gym rat, a high intelligence player, student of the game, high motor, scrappy, of white descent. What else can I say, dude? You know all the things about McConkey. He will be a wide receiver 1 this season. He's being drafted like that. I have him at wide receiver 20. So he's a top 24 guy. I think McConkey is going to have a phenomenal season, and I'm starting to grow on him, dude. I have him at wide receiver 20, 38 overall. Normal ADP has him at 48, so I have him a little bit early. I'm very high on this man. Let me just break down the profile of McConkey, dude. Mike McDaniel is now coming into the Chargers. We lose Keenan Allen. Now, Lad McConkey goes into the slot where Keenan Allen was. That's about 120 targets now gone or vacated that are going to get spread around to the offense. Yes, you have David Njoku. Yes, you still have Aronde Gadsden. Yes, you have Quentin Johnston, who he doesn't have two left hands anymore. He can actually catch things. And then you have like the up and coming Trey Harris, who I've talked about in other videos, but 2.6 yards per route run as a rookie. Absolute efficiency demon, Lad McConkey, right? I mean, he was so good in his rookie season that the following year, so last year, we were drafting him in like the second round. So I think the hype was a little bit too high, but I do think he's going to be closer to his rookie season than he was to last season. I really do believe that. Let's just look at a couple plays from camp here, dude. This is a deep bomb from Herbert. Skies up in between two defenders. Dude, what a placement of a ball, dude. I love Justin Herbert. This is Zane Donati making another appearance here. Lad McConkey will be the focal point of the Chargers wide receiver room, used as a move piece similar to Tyreek and Waddle. So they're going to be moving him around the line of scrimmage before the snap, dude. That is super big, dude. That's just fantasy gold, man. If you can be the guy in motion in a Mike McDaniel offense, it is great. Quentin Johnston will be used underneath on drag routes and screens. Also good for Quentin Johnston, dude. I've been talking about him as well in a couple of videos. Jim Harbaugh agrees. He said, I think Mike McDaniel said it. Potential for the best year he's ever had in pro football. I see it the same way. This is back in June, right? So not too long ago, but it was in the offseason. Just to drive that point home of the motion, of the pre-snap motion stuff. Career 2.56 yards per out run when in motion. Mike McDaniel's number one in motion rate, guys. So his yards per out run goes through the roof. He becomes essentially a league winner. Yards per out run is a stat, guys, that just shows like in a vacuum, how efficient is this wide receiver when they're actually out there running routes, how many yards are they getting? And then you can like kind of correlate that to fantasy production, and they're very correlated. So that's why we like to use that as just an indicator of fantasy success. So look, my takeaway is that he's growing on me, dude. He's kind of a value pick, right? You can get him in like the fourth round sometimes. And the fact that this dude does have top 12 potential, if touchdowns go his way, if the offense is humming, and this is like a top 5 offense in the NFL, like we think it could be, he just has to get a little bit more of that target share that Keenan Allen has vacated. Next up, we got AJ Brown, guys. Look, he is just putting his nuts on people in training camp, dude. He looks phenomenal. I think like on the first day of camp, it looked bad, dude. And the people who are AJ Brown haters, who I'm not really a hater, but I was just a little uncertain from Philly. He just didn't look quite as good as he used to. And, you know, on the first day at camp, 1 of 7 between May and Brown with an interception. So it was looking bad, dude. And like the very next day, 4 or 5, dude, he scored 4 touchdowns. AJ Brown scored 4 touchdowns in a practice session, taking his nuts and showing it to everybody. Look, man, AJ Brown kind of hits all the markers we want to see for like future blow up, right? He's had the 14 points per game. We would have loved to see 16. He had the 2.0 yards per out run, so he hits that, and he had 8 targets on a low pass volume offense. So he joins now the Patriots. Now you take this efficiency where he has good yards per out run because, you know, he is a deep threat. He gets a lot of intermediate stuff. You take the fact that we might be able to bump this up to 10 targets. We're talking about a dude that could hit the 20 points per game in PPR threshold that makes him a league winner. I want to show you guys this highlight, dude. This is Brown on Sauce Gardner. Dude, absolutely breaks his... Bro, he put Sauce Gardner in a 3-point stance. He had this man waiting for the next play, dude, lined up as a line. He had this man lined up as a lineman waiting for the next play. Absolutely put this dude in a 3-point stance. Look at that shit, dude. That's Sauce. Dude, what happened to Sauce Gardner? I feel like ever since his rookie season, man, he's been just getting bitch slapped, dude, pimp slapped by every rider, every highlight I see of Sauce Gardner, he's getting absolutely dominated, man. So I don't know what happened to Sauce, but this man is currently in a 3-point stance. Oh, man. All right, let's get serious. Dude, look, the upside is massive for AJ Brown. Like, across the board, statistically, he's one of the best wide receivers, like, in the NFL. You now pair him with a quarterback who can throw deep and loves to throw deep. That's what the offense kind of built around. It's built around, like, play action, deep bombs, and then running the ball. Obviously, they lean on their defense as well. But I'm getting higher on him, dude. Wide receiver 10, I might have to move him further up ahead of some dudes. Like, I can't imagine Nico Collins. I can't imagine George Pickens. But even Malik Nabers, I don't know, man. It's tough for me to take them over AJ Brown. Just the way he's been looking in camp. It's just another little corner touchdown, dude. Just it makes it look easy, dude. He's like a gazelle. Look how fucking built this man is, dude. He looks like DK Metcalf. All right, dude, we got to speed this up. Jordan Mason, looking like a beast in training camp. Now, they brought this dude in last season to be the early down, the goal line back for the Vikings, and he shit in his own pants, dude. I don't know what happened last season, but I want to show you guys 2024 efficiency chart here. This is missed tackles forced per attempt on the bottom, and then yards after contact per attempt. So is he shifty and is he good after contact? Those are the two. Bucky Irving over here breaks the chart. Jordan Mason, dude, up in the top right alone, man. He was an absolute beast at forcing missed tackles and yards after contact. I was excited about him going to the Vikings. You know, Kevin O'Connell offense. I thought it'd be high octane, weapons everywhere. I thought JJ McCarthy wasn't an absolute fart, dude. And he kind of shat himself, man. So we're essentially running it back this year with Jordan Mason, dude. I think he's a value pick. I had him at RB37 at 102 overall, and he's going to 120 in ADP. So you can get him like 18 rounds cheaper based on my rankings. Again, Draft Guide, you guys can find the link down below on the page. Let's look at a couple hype pieces here. If you are searching for standouts, this is from 32 beat writers at training camp, look for Mason. The 27-year-old returned this summer in exceptional shape, and his explosiveness shows up in team drills. O'Connell trusts Aaron Jones implicitly, but Mason's burst and vision fit perfectly with the overhauled run concept. So he's more of a fit for the scheme now. And then Jason Harmon said the 27-year-old back has had multiple breakaway runs in just the last 2 days, showcasing a level of speed we've rarely seen from his runs up the gut. So a lot of more outside run zone scheme, which is going to be really good for Jordan Mason. That is where he can, he can actually use that shiftiness that he had for the 49ers. He can put that to use here. So look, one of my favorite late round picks, if he's on the board in the, ninth round plus, I am clicking on him every single time. Next up, we got Jacoby Lane. Is that actually what Jacoby Lane looks like? He kind of looks like Bryce Young and the fucking black dude from Terminator 2, like the super nice hacker who like sacrifices himself and dies sadly at the end of the movie. That's who this dude looks like, man. Google that shit. Let me know what you guys think. But look, he has been making plays, guys. I just want to first talk about the profile. He's 6'4". And his comp on Player Profiler is Terrace Marshall Jr. So a little bit concerning. That's kind of a bustable profile, if you guys know what I mean. Like those players are either really good in the NFL or they're just absolute cat shit. So he's not very agile. He didn't even run the agility drills at the combine, so he didn't score there. I think because he knows he doesn't really have the lateral speed. He's a burner, dude. He's a straight line runner, an absolute red zone demon. In his junior season, he had 12 touchdowns, guys. Senior year, unfortunately, only 5. I don't know what really happened there, but he's going to be behind Flowers, behind Bateman, and even Henry and Lamar are bigger red zone weapons, right? Like, I don't know if he can actually find the field this season without injuries. I think it will be tough for him to get some playing time, but let's look at a couple of videos of the man. This is from Lamar Jackson, Tulane. Dude, skies up. You guys can see the length on this man, dude. Absolute length. Girth, not girth, but just length. This is another one here, dude. Some straight line speed, a deep bomb that he catches over the defender. Nice. I mean, dude, right in the bucket. Nice throw. And stays calm and catches it, dude. We love to see that. And guys, this is some highlights from USC. We're not going to watch too many of them, but I just want to show you one of the first ones, which when I was going into the draft process and looking at dynasty rookies, this is a dude that really excited me. I just didn't really like the landing spot, but just look at some of these plays, man. This was one of the nicest catches, dude. He has a defender snagging at his arm, one-handed grab, dude. There's another deep bomb here. Dude, he knows how to get under and track the ball and get under it. He's got some decent speed for a man his size. Again, it's just a bustable profile, dude. He's got the jump ball fades on lock. That was another one-hander, I think. So the dude is talented. He's very talented, and he is getting gassed up. And he is dominating camp, man. A lot of beat reporters are saying he's been looking like one of the better wide receivers. I think there is an opportunity. There is a chance he can beat out like Rashad Bateman, who I just think he's been kind of unspecial for so many seasons in a row. Like, at what point are they just going to be like, yo, let's give the young buck a chance? All right, we're actually going to speed things up here. Caleb Douglas, wide receiver 102, guys, 250 in PPR ranking. So this is basically being like undrafted on all platforms. Why am I even talking about this man? 6'4", 93rd percentile 40-yard dash, guys. 97th percentile speed score. He is big and he is fast, but that is kind of just about what all he is, right? So rare combination, I will say, but it is very much a boom bust profile also in the NFL, but he kind of finds himself on like the best possible landing spot because the Dolphins, dude, like, can you even name another? It's Malik Washington. Dude, it's like blacksmiths and like herbalists and tailors and archers. It's just a bunch of dudes, with like trade professions playing wide receiver. So this man could definitely win out, dude. There's an opportunity, right? Like, in all seriousness, you got Malik Washington. He's kind of more of a gadget guy. He's never been more of like a 2 target per game type of player. So I think Caleb Douglas it's legitimately the easiest path to relevancy, right? To actually winning the starting job, right? And then we got Bell, the other rookie for the Dolphins. He's been injured, right? So he hasn't even really been able to like make a name for himself. So the lanes are essentially empty for him to make that step up, dude. And I know it's not a really good offense, but somebody has to score some fucking fantasy points for the Dolphins. Here's some hype guys. Douglas, who is 6'4", 205, runs a legit sub 4'4", has a knack for creating separation from defensive backs, dude. You love to see that. Second hype piece, Kyle Krabs on rookie wide receiver Caleb Douglas. He continues to pick up steam as a perimeter weapon for Miami's offense. He was at the center of several big plays today, so he's not just a tertiary piece. And this is Malik Willis to Caleb Douglas on a nice little throw. Let's see if we can find Caleb Douglas. Dude, I don't even think I've seen this highlight yet. A nice little play action, rolls out. A nice little like crossing route. Do we love those horizontal breaking routes? If they use Caleb Douglas in these horizontal breaking like play action routes, this dude could be a sneaky player where early in the season, he might catch one of those, break it for a touchdown. He's got the speed to do it. And then he's going to be a waiver darling, guys. He's somebody that I'm really excited about. Our next up, we got Deshaun Stribbling, a man that I desperately need to be good because I draft him in every fucking dynasty league. But it is looking good so far, guys. We saw him in the preseason yesterday. I haven't really talked about the preseason in this video, but yesterday, dude, he looked really good. We're going to watch some of that stuff first. And there's really just a couple plays I want to see, dude. Like most of it was just like out routes the whole game. You know, he looked good on the out routes. There were a couple plays, like this one was nice where, you know, defender draped all over him, has the strong hands, pulls it in, gets the first down. You know, the wherewithal, presence of mind to reach for the first down. This is it here, guys. Deep bomb, tracks it, defender's hand, still catches it, goes to this is another nice one, dude. Behind the line of scrimmage, bounces off a defender, fights for a first down, drags 2 defenders with him. Those are the type of plays where, like, you know, like the fat dudes on the sideline that stand next to the head coaches, you don't really know what their job is, and they just get hype as fuck, and those are the sellies that I want to see on the sidelines. And another one here, dude, this is a 49ers beat reporter. I mean, a little bit biased here, but he outplayed Carnell Tate in the joint practice that they had with the Titans. Expect him to get a ton of playing time and targets this season as long as he's healthy. Dude, you love to hear it. This is a crazy ass hype report, dude. This is another beat reporter, again, probably biased. He already is the best wide receiver on the team, full stop. I mean, he's the last man standing. Literally everyone is substation zapped, but you know, those are big words from a beat reporter. I mean, this dude's a beat reporter, so he should have some expertise, some level of competency on, you know, writing about the 49ers. And he's saying he's the best wide receiver they have. Look, he has this alpha prototype body, but again, dude, there's that bust prototype. There's that, I'm always thinking about Terrace Marshall. I'm thinking about these bigger, fast, physical wide receivers who just don't have like the route running or like the talent, the skill. I know that sounds fucked up that I'm talking about another man, that I'm talking about a professional NFL player's talent, but I think you guys know what I mean when I say, like, you have your like talented wide receivers, then you have your physical freaks where, like, I never put DK Metcalf in like the talented wide receiver pool. I just put him in the, like, this dude's an absolute athletic freak and has like crazy straight line speed at his size, right? All right, dude, we got Mike Washington. I just have a couple things to show you. It's a big preseason run. This dude is a handcuff. Check it out, dude. Through the middle, breaks like 4 tackles, and then shows off the insane speed that this, I mean, it's not insane. It's, what is it, 4.38 speed? Yeah, 4.3, 40-yard dash, 6'1", 223. So this dude has the frame. He has the college profile, but he's sitting behind, like, you know, obviously Ashton Jeanty, dude, one of the better college prospects we've seen, right, in the last couple seasons. So look, he's a handcuff, but he's making plays. And honestly, he's like my favorite handcuff to grab. And it's kind of dumb of me to want him because he's not even in a good situation. Like, if he were to step in for Jeanty, if Jeanty were to go down, number one, it's not going to be a good offense. Number two, he might not have the backfield to himself. They might like force in some fucking like Amir Abdullah, or, you know, Alexander Madison's probably still kicking somewhere. He's going to get like 1 yard per carry when they put him in. But I just want this man on my team, dude. He's got the speed, the size. I just feel like his name is going to be relevant at some point. All right, next up, we got Parker Washington. Look, guys, from week 16 to 19 last season, he was the Jaguars' clear wide receiver one. It wasn't even close. 22.3 PPR points per game, guys. 6 red zone targets, 13 deep targets. He was being used down the field, close to the line of scrimmage, in the red zone, on the sidelines, in the locker room, in the parking lot, at the tailgate. This man was just producing, dude. Everywhere this man was, he was scoring fantasy points. 28.9% target share. 113 receiving yards per game, 3.78 yards per out run. Absolute like elite, like Puka Nacua style metrics, dude. Those last couple games of the season, man. So I kind of don't want to like him. Like, I don't want to believe that this dude in a team where there's so many options is going to be relevant, but just every beat report, dude, has been saying Washington has routinely been the top target for Trevor Lawrence in practice during training camp. It is easy to see why. Field Yates says Parker Washington has sounded like one of the stars of the summer, a damn good football player. Dude, he's catching deep bombs, fucking somersaulting into the end zone. Like, come on, man. And Liam Cohen said, I texted Parker Washington last week and he was like, I'm ready to kill. Nice little Dexter moment, dude. Tonight's the night type shit. I already kind of mentioned it. BTJ is going to be the sacrificial X wide receiver. What is that? So look, man, I just think he's going to be the slot player in a Liam Cohen offense. We must buy this man, and the team loves him. And he's absolutely a talented wide receiver, guys. We have to just start admitting it. And because of that, we have to be drafting this guy earlier than he's actually going, dude. I have him as wide receiver 38. I have to move him up. Like, there's no way I can't not move him up, right? NFC ADP has him at 64. The experts are drafting him way earlier than normal ADP at 85. By the way, I have a chart, which is like ADP values in the draft guide, where it shows you where the experts are drafting guys versus us. That's where you can find the values. That's where you can find the fades as well. So make sure you guys go check that out on the page. All right, fuck, man. Thank God we're almost done, dude. Next up, we got DJ Moore, another guy who I've been kind of wanted to hate. Last year, I was a Rome Odunze guy, so I had, a biased interest in seeing him not produce well. But nevertheless, he's with the Bills now, and I'm excited, guys. Look, I've been avoiding him in mock drafts. I don't know why, dude. Look at the connection between him and Josh Allen. The connection has been nothing but lethal this entire training camp. Out routes, guys. Check out the deep or intermediate out routes, dude. Absolutely so fantasy important, guys. This is another report here that got me super excited, dude. DJ Moore expected to be used in deep and intermediate breaking routes with an emphasis on more production off play action. Why does that matter, guys? Horizontal routes. This is Jacob Gibbs. Horizontal breaking routes are a sneaky cheat code for fantasy football. The best play designers are spamming them. The Bills want to up that amount, guys. And look at the fantasy points per route run on horizontal. It's a full 0.1 more fantasy points per route run. So, from 1.54 yards per route run to 1.32 and 1.34 on the other ones. So those are the routes that you want if you want big time fantasy production, guys. JSN, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. That's all he was running last season. Just the deeper horizontal breaking routes. So much fantasy production because it's like the soft spot of the defense, right? It's like in front of the safeties, behind the linebackers, and then you get those crossers where you can get to the sideline and, get to the corner and break up the field. So super valuable. And at this point, guys, where he's being drafted, wide receiver 30, 54 on NFC, 55 normal ADP. So pretty much across the board, we all are kind of drafting him in like the, late 4th round, 5th round type shit. So I think I'm just getting more and more excited because Khalil Shakir is not a real red zone threat. Dalton Kincaid is always kind of injured, struggles to stay on the field. So DJ Moore is my favorite riser, guys. He's dominating in camp. All the beat reporters are saying it. Holy shit, boys, we did it. 11 players dominating in training camp, moving up rankings. But first, we talked about some of the fantasy headlines. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I fucking love making these videos. It honestly feels very natural. Feels like the type of shit I want to be doing moving forward. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you for watching. And if you guys want to grab the draft guide, it's got everything you guys need for your drafts. It'll help you with your drafts. I put so much work and time into it. Patreon link down below. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.